What's going on, everybody? First and foremost, go birds. But I wanted to do kind of a series of videos that really wants to encapsulate like what the conservative agenda truly is. I mean, I know we've heard Project 2025 and all these little incidents and everything, but I really want to kind of link all the things together and try and make it more bite-sized. So, guys, here we go. And the first topic I want to talk about today is just women, just in general, because I feel like the conservative agenda is really pointed and concentrated on the lack of rights for women, and I feel like a lot of these policies are really all about that. So let's just get into it. So, um, let's just start off with the fact that I feel like the conservative goal, like the language of saying what a conservative is, means basically to preserve, to maintain, or maybe even to go back, right? So, and I just, as a blanket statement, I feel like most people that aren't, white, wealthy men have more rights today than they have at any other point in any other society, right? I think if you look at history books, you can see that. And so when we're talking about conservative and women's rights, we're talking about a regressiveness, right? We're not talking about allowing women more choices and access. We're talking about maybe taking them back to a time where they had less. And we all know that society is really, this is about patriarchy, really in this way. And I think that's really where they want to go back to. And at the end of the day, I think the largest goal, I believe, is them trying to eliminate women from the workforce and to get them back into the home so they can eliminate competition for them. And sort of the logic behind that is one, it's like women represent the majority of the population on earth. So if they can subjugate women again and make sure that they will never be able to be on par with men in a political power or economic power situation, then that is already half the battle, right? They don't have to worry about much else. If they really take that back and conserve it back to that time where a woman couldn't even really get a job that wasn't a certain like a level of job, they were kind of had to be married, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like they were in order to even elevate in a position, you had to have a husband to be allowed in certain social circles and everything, even churches, all about marriage and really predicating that. And what it really that really means is like childbearing, right? They really want to make women ineligible for the labor market, and they want to have it based upon childbearing, and it kind of pigtails into their whole thing about abortion. You know what I'm saying? Like they want abortion to be illegal. And why? Because they want to force women to have babies, which will inherently like make them potentially get out of the workforce, potentially get out of college, and all those things that you have to be pregnant and raise a child. It just makes it a lot more difficult. In addition, like they're cutting all the resources for if those women have children outside of being married and lynched to a man, they're cutting the child tax care benefits, they're cutting health care benefits to children, they're cutting educational resources, they're doing all these things to make it harder for said woman to actually have a baby. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and making it more difficult for her to have that career. So to me it seems kind of obvious that they're trying to once again like tether women to men and almost like kind of slut shaming a woman's ability to have casual sex, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what's happening. They want to ban contraception as well. So that is the conservative agenda. Like, so right now they haven't really done it fully, but like that is literally the next stage. If you look at the most conservative agenda, Justice Scalia and Clarence Thomas have actually named it as the next step. So if you read Project 2025, it's all up in there. So like that is literally something that they want. So they want to take a woman's ability to have any planning out of her life unless she chooses to be a nun. Right, but even still, if you get raped, you are still subjugated. Like I'm just saying, this. Just imagine this scenario. Like this is just goes to show like how all their moral argument is just complete crap, and they really just want women to be subjugated by men. So let's say you quote unquote did it right by their standards, and you got married, you're a woman, you were a virgin, you got married, after, maybe you went to college and, you're 25, you found the love of your life, you get married and all those kind of things, and then what? So let's say you and your husband have plans. You want to save up and buy a house. You want to save up and both work and go and take some vacations and enjoy each other's time. And you really don't want to have a baby right now, but you're in love. It's your honeymoon phase. So what does that mean? You can't have sex? Unless you potentially have a baby? So you, as a person that did everything right, was a virgin and got married to your person, and now you don't have the right to choose when you have a child. You just have to hope you don't get raped, and then you don't have consensual sex, and then maybe. But still, the power is not yours. And that is exactly what they want. They want it to be subjugated. In addition, they're going against every HR legal protection to try and protect women from people discriminating against them. So they're after maternity leave right now, and if they have it, they want to cut it. So they're not helping. They're denying paternity leave. They're almost making it like, okay, it's the woman's job to take care of it. We're not supporting the father doing it. So, like, look at the agenda. Look at what they're doing. They're literally trying to make women baby incubators and have that be their sole purpose. And if that isn't enough for you, look at the rhetoric of what they're saying now. Look at J.D. Vance. What do you think he meant by single cat ladies having too much power? That Sarah Huckabee Sanders was just at a Trump rally saying that Kamala Harris doesn't have real woman humility because she doesn't have children of her own. They're really subjugating women into saying the only way that you can be a real woman with your purpose is having a naturally born child. And then, but that's out of your control. You're not even able to plan that unless you're abstaining from sex, which is crazy. And that's not going to happen, right? No man in a marriage is going to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to, and it's going to go back into the conservative times where women were basically at a large grip, raping their wives. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how are you going to deny a man having sex in a marriage? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, it's just like that's what happened back in the day. That's why liberation happened to progressives to this point, so that men wouldn't be able to control women. And you know why they had the ability to do that? Because women were frozen out of the employment cycle. You couldn't be a gainfully successful woman by mass. There may be a couple exceptions, but really men froze you out of that. And so what did that mean? If you wanted to be a woman and live a certain lifestyle, you better get yourself a husband. If you want to go to the proper social club, you better get yourself a husband. Those are the times that they're trying to conserve. Those are the times that this anti-abortion thing is supposed to happen. And so it's really the anti-consensual sex, the anti-controlling a woman's body. And it's not even about the whole slut shaming, because like a woman, again, if they did all the right things and got married, will still be binded to that trap of like sex means baby. And so I'm thinking, if you're a woman and it's about having control over your own actions and about having some mutual accountability, right? Some mutual accountability that a man would also have to have some accountability for that sex, right? And that he might have some penalties, but that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be for women to be subjugated, to get out the workforce, to only be about babies, and to have men be in that mentality that if a woman doesn't have a baby, what's wrong with her? And to make her actually want to do that and to not want to work. Let's conserve, right? That's what it's really doing. So that's part one. You know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully it just gives you some food for thought. And the next video will be about, actually, in addition to that, abortion in itself, and about why abortion, IVF policy, and why they want to force women to have babies beyond keeping them out of the workforce. So until next time.